Hi there, Kristen here. So today I want to talk to you about using Reiki for self-healing, and using Reiki for self-healing to send through time and space. So we're gonna deepen into some of my sci-fi nerdiness for this one. So the last couple weeks we've talked about just general tips for using Reiki for self-healing, and this week I want to just invite in some imaginative, fantastical play into using Reiki for self-healing. So, Reiki is universal life force energy. Reiki has been known primarily as a hands on healing technique, and I would kind of expand that definition of Reiki to define Reiki as a way of reaching spiritual enlightenment and a way of reaching self actualization, self empowerment, self realization. And that's how I feel Reiki is more about spiritual enlightenment and a way to access spiritual enlightenment without having to necessarily subscribe to any particular religious belief. So I see Reiki much more as an energy, and a lot of people use it as a hands-on healing technique, but I would say that Reiki is a energetic gift to all of us to help us to come back into relationship with spiritual power. Yeah. So today I want to talk about using Reiki to heal throughout time and space. So in our world, we tend to subscribe to a pretty narrow, limited perspective of time and space. And I would argue that energy exists outside of time and space. And so by that, what I mean is that energy, energy can time travel. So for example, if I'm sitting here today, right now, and I'm thinking about a happy time with my family on a family vacation, and I'm thinking of the warm sun and laughter and all the good food that we ate, my energy will likely start to time travel, and kind of I will re-experience the good feelings from that memory, right? Similarly, a lot of people sometimes experience maybe worrying about the future, right? So our minds will time travel to the future and our energy will start getting responsive to that, right? We might start feeling anxious feelings. We might start feeling afraid or worried, depending on kind of our time traveling experience. And so our mind can move forward and back through time, and our energy then can have this kind of time traveling ability. While physically, our physical bodies are always present in this present moment, our energy then exists in a much more kind of nebulous space, right? So when we're thinking about using Reiki for self-healing, we can send Reiki forward in time or backwards in time. And so by that, we can just literally ask the Holy Fire Reiki to move forward in time and support me throughout my day, right? Maybe I know that I have a big meeting coming up or a big presentation coming up this week, and I can ask the Reiki at the beginning of the week, Reiki, please move forward through time and help me be met with love when I do that presentation. I can also, if I'm on my way to the presentation, I can ask the Reiki to move forward from me and fill that space with Reiki. Similarly, right, if I am doing a lot of healing and I'm trying to forgive myself for the past, or I'm trying to move beyond something that hurt me in the past, I can ask the Reiki to move backwards from me in time and really create an energetic containment for the experience that I had, for the thing that I am having a hard time forgiving myself for, or for the thing that really hurt me. And I can ask that the Reiki move backward in time and hold that entire experience in Reiki, right? I can also ask that the Reiki just move in between, in the space between me and the thing that happened, or the space between me and the thing that is going to happen. Again, this involves us kind of being able to shift our imaginative space to view time in this much more kind of wibbly wobbly, as Doctor Who has described it, kind of way, as opposed to this linear, this is the past and this is the future. We view it much more in this nebulous kind of way. And when we do that, we give the energy, the Reiki energy, the spiritually wise energy, space to really move throughout space and time and create containment, right? In that, I mean, often, right, a harmful situation can happen and then it might ripple, right? It might have painful or grief stricken kind of like ripples, right? That ripple out. Some people call these like, occasionally, like we can think of them as triggers, right? Like something that triggers us into going back into the emotional state that harmed us, right? And if we ask, the Reiki can hold us in its energetic love, while we move through those triggers, right? It doesn't mean that we are eliminating triggers from our life and we won't ever be triggered. But what it does mean is that when we experience a trigger, we can have containment. We can be held by the universal life force energy of Reiki, by the unconditional loving energy of Reiki. And really, how does that happen? Is we ask, we give permission, and we surrender, right? We let the energy do its work and we completely surrender to it after we've invited it to do the work. So, for example, I might want to send Reiki energy back to, like, just in general, like my high school experience. High school can be a really hard time for a lot of us. And so I can just ask that my entire high school experience be held by the Reiki, and ask that the Reiki move backwards in time from me to that moment when I was that high schooler, and that all the space between me and her just be filled with Reiki. Similarly, I can ask the Reiki to move forward throughout this year. Just hold this year for me with Reiki love, and ask that I move forward into Reiki love. Again, this definitely requires us to step into a more like fantastical, kind of imaginative space, right? Where we are letting ourselves imagine the world in a bigger way than maybe some of us are used to imagining the world. But I think it's really fun to kind of play with giving Reiki permission to move through time and space and give ourselves containment and give ourselves access to that love and that hope in moments when we were in a really dark place, right? And again, this doesn't necessarily require us to like dive deep into all our past traumas. We can just do a general Reiki, please move back in time and hold me in those moments when I was hurting most. Reiki, please move backward in time and offer my younger self containment in those times when my heart was broken. Reiki, please move backward in time and offer me containment in those moments when I made mistakes. Let the Reiki radiate from me in those moments that I made mistakes, so that those I harmed may also have access to the Reiki. This is really limitless. You really can use this in whatever way that you want. I'd love to hear how you use Reiki throughout time and space. It's so fun that we all get to be time travelers in a way when working with this beautiful energy. As always, please like and subscribe to my channel if you have not. Share this video with your friends if you feel moved. If you want to work with me, please feel free to email me. My email is in the notes below. I also teach Reiki classes if you're interested in being attuned to Reiki, either at level 1 or higher. I do the trainings online, so we can do them from anywhere. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to comment with how this is working for you and just how you use the Reiki throughout time and space. It's pretty exciting that we are able to kind of break down our limitations and really use Reiki in this way. Bye now.